How's it going, everyone? They say that men shouldn't cry. When I say they, I mean society in general. And I did a video about the dark night of the soul a couple days ago, and there's one other time in my life I felt something like this. This time is different. And I've debated whether I should do videos while I'm going through this because I'm very raw and weak right now. And I just have been crying, and I guess what I'll describe is what I'm feeling, what I'm going through and what I'm feeling, and what I'm doing to try to navigate it. So what am I going through? I feel like I sliced a part of my soul off, and my soul is bleeding, and I'm having physical symptoms. My heart rate is elevated. I had a slow heart rate, even like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. I had a very slow heart rate, like 48 to 52 beats per minute. My heart rate's up to about 70 to 80 on average now, which is very fast for my heart. And it's more of a pounding heart rate, and I can't stop it. I can do very present in yoga breath work, and it helps to relax it, and it helps to get me present. And that's good. But I can feel a process happening in me, and I can't stop it. And everything I've researched on YouTube says to allow it to flow through me, to just allow the transformation that's happening in me to take place. So I say, okay. So I just lay on my bed and cry and just, and then I go to do my yoga class, and I try to work. This is during my work day, and I don't really have any desire to work, but I have to. I have to get things done still. But it feels like a necessary purging of some old things about me, that this process I'm going through, that I will finally correct some negative things about myself. At least that's what my hope is. And the few things that I hope get purged are my selfishness and my lack of self-confidence. My selfishness comes in the form of not considering other people when I'm doing things. Sometimes I will make decisions without really diving into the consequences and putting on the brakes, or I just am compulsive, and I've caused some great pain to people in my life because I haven't thought through what I'm doing and calibrated and actually adjusted my decision making, largely in dating and relationships. And my lack of self-confidence, I was thinking, why do I have this lack of self-confidence? I have a strong, powerful body. I have a very strong intellectual mind. I know how to speak and convey and communicate. I have worked tirelessly to be in a grounded and centered state. Like, I feel like I've done what most men don't do. So I logically know I have a tremendous amount of worth and value to this world as a man. Yet I also have a lack of self-confidence and fear in me. And so I was thinking about this, and like, where's the root of this? Because as a baby, there's no way I was born with this. Babies aren't born with trauma and fear. It gets put into them. I mean, they cry because they're hungry when they come out. So I remember I was about 7 or 8 years old, or really like a young boy, somewhere around there. And there's a friend of mine that I grew up with. This friend was also a bully, and like, bullies are bullies because they've been bullied in some way most of the time, either by their parents or in some other way, or some of them are just dark beings, just people who aren't good people. But this was a friend I grew up with, and sometimes he was a bully, and I put up with it, and I stayed his friend. I didn't understand what I understand now, is that with a bully, you give them one strike as, okay, you were having a bad day when you did that. And if they do it again, there's no more strikes. And you do whatever necessary measures need to be done to put that bully in their place. It's a one strike rule. You can do a 2-strike rule as well. Some people adhere to that. So I've been researching bullies and men who are aggressive and threatening, because I've been very well attuned to men like that in my life, my entire life, and I've had experiences with men like that, and I've been threatened and had men get angry at me a few times in my post-divorce journey of the last 7.5 years. And I've thought about, why is that so disheartening to me when it happens? And so back to when I was 7 or 8 years old, my friend Aaron was being a bully and pushing me, and I'm a man of peace, so of course a bully would see that as an opportunity. And for whatever reason, I lashed out at him, and I didn't know anything about fighting. My guess is he did. And so he probably knew how to deflect my lunge and push me on the ground. And so I got up and I ran home crying. This was as a young child. And it was in the snow. I remember it very vividly. So the root of my self-confidence, I think, is because of a sadness, a disappointment, and a fear of bullies. Because I have never in my life trained to fight or stand up to a bully. I know I could today. I have the strength and the ability that I could hold my own against a bully today, but nothing good comes of a fight. And I think I knew that at a young age. Even if I beat up a bully to a pulp, I've now hurt someone and potentially disabled them, or potentially blinded them, because in a fight, who knows what's going to happen? Or the opposite, during the fight I get disabled. Something happens to me, now I can't provide for my 2 daughters. There's no sensible situation I can see where it makes sense to fight, unless you're training or sparring or doing that kind of thing, and you're just wanting to learn the craft. That's wonderful. Learn to fight so you don't have to fight. I think that's a good idea for all men. It's probably a good idea for me, and it'll help get me in shape. That and yoga, like, I'll get in phenomenal shape. I'm already getting in really good shape. So that resonates with me. Doing that resonates with me. Like having some structure and maybe working on a black belt in karate, or learning to box, some karate, jiu-jitsu, like learn multiple physical fighting forms as a way to just channel energy, learn the craft, and to feel what it's like to be in those situations. And that's all I think I need, is the chance to feel like what it is to be in those situations. And to know that I have the knowledge and skills to defend myself and my two daughters. And should I ever be with a woman again, to defend her if I needed to. Now, I've never needed to do anything like this since I was 18. So I'm 44 now. And I don't think I ever will have to. There's no reason to. There's resources to handle situations like that, like the police and other things. You don't need to fight anyone these days. But my lack of self-confidence, I think, comes from that brief fight as a young child. And my heart wasn't in it. I could tell when I play back the memory and I lunged at him. Just my heart wasn't in it. His primary motive was to be an aggressor and a bully. So I have to find a way to be able to channel that energy through some kind of practice, some kind of martial arts practice. And to find a way to put my heart into it, but to maintain my peace and calmness and centeredness. If you've ever seen the movies Ip Man, IP space MAN, I think there's 4 of them, but I like the first and the second one. It's the best. It's about a Chinese man who knows Wing Chun. It's the martial arts form that Bruce Lee did. And he's a very peaceful man, but he's exceptionally skilled in his craft, and he's so skilled that he's able to beat anyone that challenges him. And there's a scene in the first movie where one of his friends is shot and killed. And let me pause for a second and get some more light. Okay, there we go. We got some good light going. So, I'm 44. Am I too old to learn martial arts? I don't think so. I've been doing yoga for 2.5 weeks, and I can do a crow pose now, and I'm improving. I can feel it. So I know with this, if I did this form of martial arts for a year, I could probably become a black belt pretty easily, because my mind absorbs like a sponge. My mind is just an absorption machine. And that resonates with me. And that the archetype of Ip Man, or however you say that, if you watch the movies, that is the exact, I'm a bit bigger and taller than he is, but that's exactly how I would want to be. I would want to have the knowledge. I would want to have a complete knowledge of all punches, kicks, holds, defensive blocks, situational awareness, what to do against different sized opponents, to just have a complete understanding. And I believe to get to that point, when I get to that point, this self-confidence issue will go away. Our bodies, we have the ability to be inspired and to know what we need to do. The answers come to us, and it's unique to each of us. This answer is unique to me. So I think what I'll do is I'll start off with boxing and move into jiu-jitsu, karate. I'll get a training dummy for my condo. I'll start practicing with my bow again, my bow and arrow. I'll learn to shoot a firearm. I've always been afraid of guns, but just to have the ability to know I can use a gun if I need to. And like I said, I don't plan that I'll ever have to use these crafts and arts But if the situation ever arose, I would be confident. Whereas right now, it's like, yeah, I know I can handle myself just fine, but it's too unpredictable. It's just too unpredictable. I don't have reference experiences of sparring and really having a grasp on the situation. It would be like if I was just trying to play basketball today and without the reference of playing 10, 20,000 plus hours. If I go play a pickup game of basketball, I have so much reference to the game in my shooting that it's quite easy to see what I need to do while I'm playing and what I can do to help win the game with rebounding, passing, scoring, communication on the court, speed, quickness. I think that's what will happen as I learn martial arts. And there's one video I watched. There was a guy who said, "Learn to fight so you don't have to fight." Because what would I do if I'm out with my daughters and someone threatened us or started attacking, going after one of my daughters or something? I'd of course defend, but I've never been in that situation. So to me, it's all about creating reference experiences and having the confidence to handle situations. And like I said, I think I'll go through my entire life. I think I'll go through my entire life without ever having to use any of the things I'll learn. But they'll give me the confidence to navigate this world, because there are some bad people in this world. I've come across some truly bad people in this world, especially in the last 7.5 years. You have bad people, and then you have not necessarily bad people, but people that have a fuse that can go off easily. And then you have the more minority of people, which are very peaceful people, calm people. So I think that will remedy the self-confidence that I've lacked since a child. And this only came to me recently. It was like a few days ago, this prompting came to me as a response to what's been going on with me right now. So I basically will become the Witcher Geralt in real life, and have the skills and knowledge of all martial art forms and weaponry, and I must be very mindful of who I become while I'm doing this, because it would be very easy to become a very powerful, dangerous man and let that get to my head. As I think it would get to any man's head. And to maintain my peace and sense of self. And to be like Ip Man from the movies, if you watch him. He's just a peaceful man. But when he fights with lightning speed, skill, and he's calm. He's calm during the entire fight. And that's where the breath work comes in. And meditation and yoga. It's to be calm all the time. It takes hours of practice each day and a great focus. It takes tremendous focus. Some days I just like sheesh. But then you start to get in the habit. And luckily my default nature is to be peaceful. So as I'm navigating this difficult moment, I'm following whatever inspiration comes up with no judgment. This came up. I mean, essentially become the Witcher Geralt, a skilled warrior in all manner of ways. So what happens when I solve self-confidence? What's left? Fear goes away, stress goes away, If I remove the self-confidence problem for me, what other problems do I have? I have the selfishness. So how do I solve that? I think I solve that through a much greater service than what I'm doing right now, by continuing to do these YouTube videos for whoever watches. And I know right now there's not many people watching my videos, but it's still an act of service for 20 to 30 people each video. So I keep doing these videos regularly. And when I interact with people, I truly step outside myself and seek to understand them and their needs. And if I become a man of service, dedicated to bringing light and joy to this world, and I do it consistently, it will become part of who I am. Whereas right now I have to think about it. I have to consciously think about it. Like, oh yeah, I need to do this. I need to do this act of service. I need to do this kind thing. And I do it, but it's not embedded into who I am. That's Dido pushing on the tripod. So what happens when I solve self-confidence and my selfishness? What's left? Is there any other negative aspects of myself to cleanse? I can't see any. There might be. But through this process of the dark night of the soul, it's just, I've got to let myself feel, mourn, send love, and do all the things I'm feeling inspired to do. I think that will help bring me to the light. And then time is the only other thing. I've gone dancing the last few weeks at the Westerner, a place I went to in April 2019 for the first time. And it's been a tough adjustment. It's been a tough adjustment. I go there and all my thoughts go back to past memories. The beautiful memories there that aren't happening now. That's all I'm thinking about. So I have to really kind of step outside myself, and I'm starting to dance with other people now and try to feel some sense of normal again, but it's going to take a while. So this is my first update on my dark night of the soul journey. It's a lot of, my blood pressure's up, my heart rate's up. I felt pain, stabbing pains in my body and digestive issues. My stomach's just not working right now, so I'm losing a lot of weight. I got under 220, so I was like 219.6 from a high of 251 like four months ago. So the weight's just coming off and off and off. And that's great. I don't want to lose it too fast, so I'm trying to slow it down just a little. So the primary way I'm navigating this dark night of the soul is I'm allowing myself to feel whatever I feel: crying, anger, rage, frustration, disappointment in myself, allowing myself to feel disappointed in myself. And grateful for past experiences and what's happened in the past, and beautiful memories, and thinking about those memories, and just sending love and energy outward into the distance, because that's the best I can do. So as things come up with this, so yeah, letting myself feel everything, doing yoga every day for an hour, breath work. It's called an Ujjayi pranayama breath. Channeling as best I can right now the inner warrior within. to bring that out and let that be my default state instead of periodic state. I will become the amazing warrior, and then the amazing warrior gets kind of defeated and the weak part of me comes out. It's like this pattern that's been repeating. So I seek to keep the inner warrior as the main character at all times. Allow all feeling, yoga, breath work, and training. Training to be the Witcher Geralt in real life. I plan on doing this at least a few times a week, but I think it will also become a 7-day-a-week thing. I'm really going to put my whole heart and soul into learning to fight and defend myself and others so that I can remove this self-confidence issue I've had since I was a kid and that bad experience. And never, ever use it to seek out conflict. I will maintain the exact same demeanor I do in peaceful presence. But inside will be now, instead of a dragon, it will be a well-trained dragon. Instead of a level 2 dragon, it'll be a level 20 dragon, something like that. And I think it'll be fun. It'll be fun to learn some martial arts and kicks and punches and grappling holds and understanding the anatomy of the body, and because that's how I would approach it, is as a scientist, with intelligence and understanding the body and what can be utilized and what's appropriate, and understanding the law and when can you use deadly force, when should you not use deadly force, so I can navigate any situation that comes my way if it ever does. So those 3 things: allowance of feeling, yoga and breath work, and martial arts and self-defense training. That's the current plan. And I will continue to go dancing because that's always been a place for me to kind of unwind and float around and test myself and try to become in a strong state. Because sometimes when I go dancing, I feel weakened and I don't feel like doing anything. And so it's a chance for me to learn presence. And I'm not sure when I'll do my next video, everyone, because this experience, Dark Night of the Soul, is hard. I kind of had a brief moment here where I felt like I could talk, but after this, I'll go back into feeling, go to my yoga class later today, feel the strength of that practice. My body, funny enough, is very strong right now. I feel very strong and powerful, but it's like I'm having this soul-wrenching experience right now. And I've got to find a way to heal my soul. And I think the way to do it is what I've outlined here. Because now in the future, with my daughters or friends or family or whatever woman I end up with next, I will know firmly that I am her protector, I am her king, I am her champion. That's the word, champion. So these are just some of my thoughts, navigating the dark night of the soul. I think if you're going through it and you're feeling the pain and fast heart rate and the transformation, follow your own intuition. Maybe yoga makes sense for you. Yoga and breath work, I think it's very difficult to go wrong doing that. Have an exceptionally clean diet. I'll add that as a fourth thing. I have a very exceptionally clean diet right now with meat, mostly meat and some vegetables. It's super clean. And then I just meditate, pray, send out good energy, and speak plainly and as I navigate myself through this. All right. We're going to stop this one at 30 minutes, everyone. Namaste. I'll see you in the next video.